Hi, junior achieve students. I hope you and your families are doing well and staying healthy and staying busy. Hopefully, you're able to keep on learning while you're at home. My name is Steve Kalina. I'm the president and CEO of the Minnesota Precision Manufacturing Association. We're a trade association that has hundreds of members around the state, manufacturing companies that come together to work on legislative matters at the state capitol. We work with education to improve curriculum and encourage students to get into manufacturing. And then we also bring manufacturers together to provide educational content and help them with training needs with their employees. I've got about 20 years of experience in the industry and a company that did mold making and injection molding. And then in the last year and a half, I've been in this role overseeing the trade association. So, and as you can see, I'm working from home now. My role is able to be done from home. I don't work on machines anymore. I used to work in the shop and work on a number of machines. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was kind of the what makes manufacturing essential. You guys have heard the president and the governor talk about essential jobs and essential businesses. Of course, healthcare is key to that, making sure that everybody's safe and healthy. But secondary, they've primarily been talking about manufacturing, and you hear about 3M producing face masks and Medtronic producing ventilators. Lots of companies that have stepped up to support the cause. And so not only have those manufacturers helped with the health and safety of our country, but also supporting the economic strength of the country as well as the infrastructure and just keeping the country running. And again, it's not people like me that are in the manufacturing industry, but I'm more of an administrative role. And of course, many HR people or sales or management can maybe do their work from home. But really, the most essential people are the frontline workers that are running machines and producing the product. At the end of the day, those are people that are essential to our country right now and making a difference. So it's pretty cool that we get to celebrate that. Of course, it's tough times and a lot of scary things going on, but manufacturing really is kind of the backbone of our economy and the country right now. If you guys recall the name Rosie the Riveter, you may have seen pictures of her. She's a World War II era symbol from about 80 years ago. She represented the ingenuity and Americans stepping up to the plate, manufacturers stepping up to the plate to support America during World War II. When many of the men had gone overseas to fight in war, many women had to step up then and backfill their positions in factories and in manufacturing facilities. So Rosie the Riveter really was a symbol and still is today of of American pride and helping to make sure that our country is safe and strong. So it's pretty cool to still be looking at it that way today. And so it's exciting to be able to talk about manufacturing as a great opportunity to be essential to your country. So just to give you an idea, some of the jobs we're talking about, you might be somewhat familiar with machining. That's a very typical job in manufacturing. And what I'm going to talk about today is primarily skilled positions. So there are lots of jobs in manufacturing that you've probably heard about, and many that have gone overseas, many assembly type jobs or running machines or things that are more just kind of manual labor and maybe um, uh, less requiring of educational needs or experience or technical expertise. But NPMA specifically, we're the Precision Manufacturing Association, so we focus on jobs that are higher skilled and which in turn higher paid, but a lot of great career opportunities that really require a lot of mental capacity, a lot of smarts, a lot of math skills, technical skills, engineering skills. So it's important to kind of separate the two so that when you're looking at manufacturing, you're not looking at the kind of the deep or dark, dingy factory jobs that you might picture from maybe the World War II era. Now, typically, those jobs are much more technical, much more computer involved, much more automation. So the machining jobs even are more what we refer to as CNC machining, computer numerically controlled. So those are machines that require design, engineering, and programming up front that then goes into the machining process. So those machinists are typically much more higher skilled and much more engaged in the process and solving problems than they are just running a machine. We also have, welders, fabricators, tool makers, and then of course engineers, quality, and support roles such as sales, admin, and HR management, things like that. But really, again, the kind of the foundation of it is around those people on the shop floor making those products and solving those problems. Um, So a lot of the businesses that are members of our association, again, those kind of higher skilled companies, are companies that are making high-end products, oftentimes regulated products for aerospace, defense, medical, kind of more complex, tighter tolerance products that are uh, much more critical, and possibly life-saving, or making a much bigger impact, either on our daily lives, or to support our nation and things like that. So that means that those products are typically tougher to make, and require a much higher skill set to make them. Things such as life-saving devices, stent delivery systems for medical applications, or components that go into a jet engine. I mean, things that are very crucial that if they're not done right could possibly cost people their lives, or cost millions of dollars in damage. So these are products that we make that are built in facilities right here in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities even, and they're made by machining centers that maybe remove steel with cutters, kind of like you picture a drill press, but in this case, a highly powered, high uh, uh, high RPM, very complex machines that are removing steel to make components such as threaded pieces, or complex geometries. And then what I refer to as in my career path, my history was on mold making. Injection molds are made to be able to inject either plastic or metals into a cavity. So you're basically removing steel to create geometry, and then filling that with a material that can then produce the product. And then, of course, like I said, welders and fabricators that are building something, maybe enclosures for something, sheet metal, building something from scratch into a product or a device, or a machine of some kind. So again, pretty cool products, things you may use daily. Of course, most everything in your house or at school is manufactured to some extent. The chair I'm sitting in is manufactured. The plant hanger behind me is manufactured. Spoons and forks are manufactured, but most of those products are things that are done overseas because they require less complexity and precision. So the things that typically we're talking about that are really good career paths here are again the things that are more used in those regulated industries. So you may not use them day to day, but things that are still key to our lives, and that you may see throughout your life, or whether you're in a hospital or you're riding in an airplane. Um, so the career paths you can take vary quite a bit. Um, the great thing about manufacturing is that there are a lot of pretty simple paths to take that require a lot less time and money, but get you to an endpoint even much faster than many other fields. So of course, most of us are kind of nudged towards going into a four-year degree program. Our parents maybe encourage us to do that. Our career counselors. It's still a great thing to do to achieve a four-year degree or beyond. But that's just not right for everyone. In fact, I only have a two-year degree. I did time at a technical college, and I got my two-year associate's degree, but I've been in manufacturing my whole career, and I've been in management for quite a few years. Uh, so that college is a great opportunity, but if you don't necessarily know what path you want to take, and you don't necessarily have a passion for classes that you might take at a four-year university, you want to consider looking at more technical programs. If you like hands-on, if you like building things, if you like tearing things apart and figuring out how they work, solving problems, that may be in line with an engineering degree, that might be a good fit for you. But also, many of the manufacturing jobs require an engineering mindset, but don't necessarily require an engineering degree. So many students who are thinking about engineering may actually be better suited for a technical program. The nice thing about that is that technical degrees are often lesser cost per credit, and then only a two-year program. What we're finding these days is that if you come out of a four-year degree, you hopefully have a good career opportunity, but you've got 4 years of debt now, and whether it's $50,000 or $100,000 in debt, um, and then you might right away get a job that's paying 50, 60, $70,000. But in a manufacturing field, if you go and get a two-year degree, oftentimes you can do that with very little to no debt, whether you're working during while you're going to school. connect with a manufacturer who's willing to pay for some of your education or scholarships, of course. But it's much lesser financial obligation. And then in 2 years, you're done. And oftentimes, companies are paying $20 to $24 an hour now for entry level positions they're skilled positions, of course. Again, I'm talking about positions that require a high level of skill, but after a 2 year program, you can get to that level. And with some overtime, you can be making $50,000, $60,000 very early on. And again, now you're only 2 years in and have no debt, and you're making $50,000, $60,000 versus a 4 year degree that you're 2 years farther out, and you've got a lot more debt, and perhaps making more, but perhaps not, depending on what field you're in. So definitely there's a lot of great career paths and financial opportunities. Whether you go to a community college and get some of your generals done, or go to a technical college and get your 2 year degree. There's also community programs that you can get involved with early on too, that may be little or no cost, just to kind of get exposure to manufacturing. But I encourage you to look at that, look into it. MPMA has an education foundation that gives scholarships. Many of our manufacturers are willing to work with people that don't have any experience and help them through that training and education to get to the higher skill level. But it's a great opportunity to really be hands-on and still use your mind. These career opportunities, again, are very intellectual. They require a strong mind and problem-solving skills. So these high-skill jobs are not ones where you just go and push buttons. They are ones where, again, you're working with automation. Whether you're an engineer or you're working with engineers, you're solving problems. You're working to develop processes and improve processes. And again, you're making products that are impacting people's lives. So pretty cool career opportunities. There are great resources. I encourage you to, when you have time, go visit manufacturers. Just go take tours, get to know a few, get to know some of the job skills and opportunities, and the type of work you'd be doing. Get to know the technical colleges. Maybe go visit a couple of technical colleges. We've got in the Twin Cities plenty of them. We got Anoka Tech, Hennepin Tech, Dunwoody, St. Paul College, Pine Tech, Dakota Tech, and then you can get outside the Twin Cities, and there's still plenty more. So those are great schools. They've got great programs, very high level programs, and again, you come out with some great skill sets. And what we're working on is an association that is helping the manufacturers do a better job in working with you either during or after you get done with that 2 year program. Oftentimes in the past, students would graduate and they'd go to their employer and then kind of just get on the job experience over the course of years. Well, now with the transition of many baby boomers that are going to be retiring, we're going to lose a lot of our highest skilled workers. And so there's going to be a gap where we don't have enough workers and we don't have enough highly skilled workers. And so there's going to be a high demand for these positions that, again, are high paying jobs that require a lot of skill. So we're trying to figure out how to expedite that process. How do we, if you come into this field, how do we get you to that higher skill level? And it's important to the manufacturers to help you get to that higher skill level as fast as possible, because we need you. So it's a great opportunity for you to engage with a business. And again, once you get done with that 2 year program, that business will continue to work with you, and whether it's through an apprenticeship or just continue down the job training to continue to develop that skill set as fast as possible. Which, in today's time, we have much more innovative resources and more online training, more virtual training. You can do hands-on training at the school or at your employer. But it'll get you to that point faster too, and of course then that raises the pay scale faster too. So again, there's lots of great opportunities, lots of open jobs right now, even though right now, of course, the economy is hurting a little bit. A lot of employers are hurting. But when that comes back on, manufacturing is going to be going as strong as ever, and we're going to need a lot of people to backfill for these positions. Again, in a few years, we're going to see a lot of people retiring. There's going to be a lot of need for these roles long term. And these roles continue to change too. As I mentioned, there's a lot of automation involved in these processes now. That continues to evolve, and so whether you're interested in automation itself and becoming an automation engineer or technician, or even just the standard roles of a machinist or welder or otherwise, are much more integrated with automation now. And so even if you take on those technical responsibilities and roles, you're still going to have to be involved in automation and get to know more of that. So it's pretty exciting. A lot of the roles are much more engaging now. They're much more challenging than they were perhaps in the past. But again, these are positions that if you like working with your hands, but you still like working using your mind and applying the things you've learned in school and math and engineering and physics and all that, these are great opportunities. So I really encourage you to look into it. I did when I was younger. I got out of high school. I took a year off. I joined the Marine Corps. I worked out in Colorado for a little while. I tried different things. I tried a couple different schools, a community college just to get some generals done. I did a year of machine tool at technical college. Um, it gave me a chance to kind of explore and not only figure out what I liked, but also what I didn't like. Um, so I encourage you to do that. Visit shops. MPMA can be a resource for you. I'm happy to connect you to people. We've got again hundreds of businesses that are fantastic companies, from small family-owned businesses to large, more corporate, large companies. We're happy to connect you to those companies to take tours. We're happy to connect you to the schools to get you maybe get you in for a tour or learn more about their programs. Or I can just be available to talk through exactly what these careers look like. So happy to connect with you. I hope you all continue to learn and get through this tough time. We need to start moving forward, and again, manufacturers have always been good at looking at ways to solve problems and get through challenging times and come out the other side stronger and moving forward. So I hope you all take care and look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future and seeing you in the manufacturing field. So look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.